He was signed by the Phillies as an undrafted free agent in the back of a car, no less.
I'll get to that.
I don't even want to know what else he's done in the back of a car, trust me. Don't even want to go there. It ended up turning into a 12-year Major League career with 6 teams. He had 34 saves in both 1995 and 1996. That was 8th in the National League in both those years. And he was a National League All-Star while a member of the Phillies as well. He's a Baseball Town Hall of Famer. He has a total of 42 saves in a Reading Phillies uniform. And of course, you do know him now for his work with NBC Sports Philadelphia as an analyst for Phillies pregame and postgame live. We welcome back to the Hot Stovers, Ricky Bottalico.
If you wanted to.
It does not. Oh, I don't want to break this. All right, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me as an honorary chairperson this year. I appreciate that. Thanks for the turnout. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is fantastic. After a year of COVID, a year of a pandemic, everybody shows up for some baseball. Isn't that great? That is outstanding. I have to say something here, because this is very impressive. I knew this, though, by the way. I just happened to look at the program. 21 years in the major leagues. 25 years in the Major League. That, by the way, that is impressive. I mean, I thought I had a good career coming in at 12. And, I mean, this is a joke. I mean, Jamie, you played with a bunch of teams, but your longevity was unbelievable. And I have to say something about Jamie Moore, because you look at the guys that come up pitching now. Here we go. Here comes Truthful Boy. You think about all the guys who come up in the big leagues now, right? And you look at, they're throwers. There's not a lot of guys that know how to pitch anymore. And Jamie wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour, but this guy could get anybody out at any time. You know why? He knew how to pitch. It's an amazing thing that used to happen in baseball. And he was one of those guys that could get anybody out at any time. And this guy on the end, really, 438 home runs? I was one. I gave up one of his home runs, and I'm proud of that.
437.
It's kind of funny. I gave up number 437. I'm a little disappointed because I had talked to Steve Degler, about a week ago? And I said, I think I might have given up his last home run. And I was a little disappointed to find out it wasn't his last, it was his next to last home run. Nonetheless, I have to tell you the story. Now, number one, I was just coming up at the big league level, and obviously Andre Dawson. Wow, you know, it's one of those guys where when I first came up to the big leagues, it was, you know, you're in awe of certain guys. It doesn't matter. He was one of them. Ricky Henderson was another one. And there were just guys that you knew that if you made a mistake, he was going to make you pay one way or the other. I'll never forget this. You can look this up. 0-2 pitch. We were playing in, I don't know the name of the stadium because it had 30 different names, am I right? In Miami? It had about 30 different names, but it's not the one they play now. Joe Robbie, it could have been, it was Miami or Marlins, I don't know, whatever it was. And then we're told in the meeting before the game, you get ahead of them 0-2, don't be afraid to climb the ladder. I'll never forget this because I climbed that ladder, 98 miles an hour, it was about chest high in, and he turned on it and hit a missile to left field out of the ballpark. And I gotta tell you, this is no joke, that's one of the first times I actually smiled on the mound because I was like, wow, he went and got that pitch and that guy's legit. Yeah, legit 2010 Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen. To tell you a little bit about myself, obviously I grew up in Connecticut. I will say this much. I had a road planned out when I was 7 years old, how I was going to get to the big leagues. I was a big fan of the New York Yankees and a huge fan of Thurman Munson back then. Okay, love Thurman Munson. Man, he's greatest catcher of all time, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to be a catcher in the big leagues, and I had it so far deep in my head that I forgot I knew how to throw, okay? That was a big problem. I will never forget this, and this is just me, I don't know, I mean, we have some high school kids here, maybe not too many young kids, but when I was in Little League, that's all I wanted to think about. I wanted to eat, sleep, breathe baseball. And this is no joke, that on my opening day of Little League, I think you had to be 8 or 9 back then to play your first opening game, went to bed in full uniform. That's funny. Full uniform, I'm talking about cup, jock, everything. So yeah, I wanted to play the game, right? Well, my mother always told me, and she would ask me like every year, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I want to play Major League Baseball. I want to play Major League Baseball. Well, you know, I was good. I was good in Little League. I was good in high school. I was good in Legion. All-state catcher in high school in Connecticut. It's not saying much, but it was fun. I say that's not saying much, but I'm my all-state pitcher, Rico Bronya, Brad Osmus. So there were guys that actually ended up going. But being from Connecticut, it wasn't that easy to get signed. It just wasn't at that point in time. And I'll never forget, I finally realized that I can't pitch, or I can't,
You knew that a long time ago.
Andre thinks I can't pitch. That I couldn't catch, right? So my other option was, I was playing in college and our pitcher got hurt on the mound, and I said, what the heck, I'll go in, I'll pitch a few innings. Go in, pitch 4 innings against the University of Fairfield, struck out 12 in a row. So guess what? Never went behind the plate again. And that was the end of my catching career. Nonetheless, I ended up pitching. My manager in college didn't really want to pitch me that much because I wasn't used to it. Ended up starting like one game at the end of the season. Started me against Northeastern University, I'd throw 1-hitter. So that was the start of something. Now I'm thinking, all right, we're right around where the draft is. Maybe I got seen here somewhere. Well, that didn't happen. So, well, here's a fun part of my story. I'll never forget this. My college season's coming to an end. Looked at my mother, and I give her a lot of credit for everything. And I told her, I said, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I gave it my all. I gave it my opportunity. I tried. I pushed. And she's like, why don't you just give it one more summer? Play summer baseball, see what happens, see if maybe something comes up. About 2 months later, it's mid-July, and I am now 14-0 with a .93 ERA. I think I gave up 2 runs the whole time I was pitching. And I get a call from the Oakland A's telling me, hey, Thursday we want you to come up Holy Cross University and throw for us, and very good chance you're signing a contract. So that was probably a week before. So I was like, okay. Sunday, I pitch a game in our league, win that one. I get a call from the Phillies on that Monday, and they told me, is there any way you could pitch on Tuesday? I'm like, oh, great. You're going to come and see me after I just went 9 innings and I got to pitch again. So I did it, and I had a good game. Probably wasn't my best, but as Mr. Degler here, by the way, if you want his autograph, his picture's in the book too. Steve Degler, ladies and gentlemen. What? You ripped on me earlier. So anyways, I did. I got signed in the back seat of a car. That is no joke. And it was, to me, I think my contract, or the signing bonus was like $1,200. I thought it was $20 million. I could not have been happier. All I wanted to do my whole life was get into the big leagues. And I'll never forget, the scout looks at me, Dick Lawler, who had just passed away not too long ago, looked at me and said, yeah, there's a problem. We don't have a spot open right now. You may have to wait till spring training. So now I'm thinking to myself, how is this even possible? I just got signed. I don't have anywhere to go play. And lo and behold, a couple guys get hurt. I get sent down. And this is the best part of the story, because I go to Batavia, New York. And Carlos Arroyo, the pitching coach who ended up being here for mega years, am I right, Steve? He was here for a long time. Carlos sees me and he says, you have to throw a bullpen here. We have 3 pitching coaches here that need to see you. So I go, I throw, and he's like, all right, give me 5 fastballs. I throw a fastball. He goes, all right, throw a breaking ball. And he kind of blew it off, like, just throw me a breaking ball. I snap off a 12-6 curveball, and he says, hold on a second, I'll be right back. Brings me up a piece of paper. You're probably going to need this. And he shows it to me. And on the piece of paper, it literally says, really good fastball, never shows a breaking ball. Now, reason being is the league I was in, I mean, it was a young college league and a beer league. So what, if you're throwing high 90s or mid 90s, you're not really going to need off-speed pitches, so I didn't use it. And right when he saw that curveball sends me immediately to Martinsville, Virginia to get in the game the next night, I was told by Rolly DeArmas, the manager that night, he said, kid, he said, you're going places. You're going to be a major leaguer in a couple of years. And at that time, that point in time, in reality, I just went from a beer leaguer to a minor league #2 prospect in 1 week. And that is no joke. So I guess yes, I obviously had a long time at the big league level. I didn't have the kind of careers that these two guys had. And Jamie, big World Series in 2008. Congratulations, by the way. I probably got to rep on Jamie at some point during that season, but I don't really remember. And obviously the rest is kind of a history type thing. I ended up playing for 12 years. I took a year off, and then boom, I ended up being a pre and post game host or analyst for NBC now with the Phillies, and couldn't be happier that I'm still in the game. And I will say this much for coming back to Reading. A lot of people ask me about Reading and why it was special to me. And I will say that old ballpark you guys have here, I know there's a lot of new amenities here, but the people here of Reading, you guys always supported that team. You love that team. You love the players on that team. Where's Spadali? By the way, congratulations. That's pretty impressive too. You want to come up here too? But always loved playing there, and it wasn't just that. It was, Third and Spruce, obviously. one of my favorite places here. One of our team's favorite places here. And just the camaraderie and the people. I got to know a lot of people here, and everybody's always been great every time I come back. And once again, I just want to thank you all for coming here and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thanks, Ricky. For those who don't know, Third and Spruce is a church.
Amen. Amen.